If you are tired of your AI agents that are hallucinating and struggle with getting the right response, then this video is for you, because today I will show you how you can stop letting your AI agents hallucinate and start getting the right responses every single time. Okay, so normally when you would add your AI agent, then you would add your chat model to your AI agent, such as OpenAI, Anthropic, Gemini, or other chat model. Then you would add some memory if that is necessary, such as the simple memory or your Postgres, and you would add some tools to it. And at the end, you will give your AI agent your system prompt. After you would have added the system prompt, then you would have probably moved on with your workflow by adding new nodes. But this is the wrong way if you want to stop hallucinations for your AI agents, because you can actually change a lot of settings in your chat model that can help you reduce the chance of hallucinations for your AI agents. So if you take a look in our chat model, then we can see that we can pick from all kinds of options. And these options will help us to remove the hallucinations from our AI agents. So I want to now go over these options one by one, so you will get the best understanding of when to use them, how to use them, and how they will improve the output of your AI agents. So the first option that we can pick from is the frequency penalty. And the frequency penalty basically helps us to stop the AI agent from repeating the same words over and over again. The frequency penalty ranges from 0 to 2, where if the frequency is higher, then it will be less likely that the AI agent will repeat the same words over and over again. And if you put it on 0, then it will repeat the same words a lot of times in the same sentence. An example of the frequency penalty, when you would, for example, put it on 0, will be: exercise is good for health, exercise helps with fitness, regular exercise improves exercise capacity and exercise performance. So in this small sentence, we heard the word exercise 5 times, which is obviously too much when you are, for example, writing a blog or a newsletter. So in that case, we could add the frequency penalty and we could change it to, for example, 2 or to 1.5. And for an example of when you will put the frequency penalty on 2, you will get: physical activity boosts health, workouts enhance fitness, regular movement improves well-being, strength, endurance, and vitality. And this is obviously a lot better than what we had when we put the frequency penalty on 0. The next option will be the maximum number of tokens. And the maximum number of tokens will basically give our AI agent a restriction of how many tokens it can use to form a new output. So if we would, for example, put the maximum number of tokens on 100, then our AI agent can only output 100 tokens. So you could, for example, use this if you want to reduce your costs. The next option will be the response format, and this will basically give the AI agent the instruction on which format it should output all of its data. So the options that we have for the response format is the option text, so then it can output all of its data in just plain text, or we can output it on JSON, and then it will output all of the data in JSON. Next option will be the presidency penalty. And the presidency penalty basically gives the AI agent the option that it can explore new ideas that we haven't talked about yet. So the presidency penalty ranges from 0 to 2. If you put the presidency penalty on 0, that will mean that it will just stay focused on the current topic that you are already talking about. Then it won't explore a lot of new topics. But if you will put it on 2, then it will explore new topics, and then it will come up with different topics that you haven't been talking about. An example, if we would, for example, put the presidency penalty on 0, would be: coffee is a popular beverage, coffee contains caffeine, people drink coffee for energy, and coffee comes from coffee beans. So in this text, we can see that it is only strictly talking about coffee. But then if we would, for example, put the presidency penalty on 2, then we will get: coffee culture spans brewing methods, cafe traditions, economic impacts on farmers, health studies, and social rituals across different countries. So here it is not only talking about coffee, but it's also talking about cafe traditions, health studies, and rituals across different countries. So then we can see that it is already exploring new topics. In my experience, the best settings for your presidency penalty would be 0.2 to 0.5 if you just want your AI agent to stay on topic but just with a fresh phrasing. They could put it on 0.7 to 1 if you want your AI agent to be more in the brainstorming phase and come up with more brainstorming ideas. And they can put it on 1.2 to 2 if you want your AI agent to be really creative and if you want it to explore a lot of concepts. The next option will be the sampling temperature. And the sampling temperature basically says how creative or random your AI agent can be. And this is thereby also the most important setting that you can add in your chat model, because this will make sure that your AI agent will stop hallucinating. So the sampling temperature ranges from 0 to 2. If you, for example, put it on 0, that will mean that your AI agent won't be creative at all. This can be very useful if you, for example, only want to have factual data or just technical answers from your AI agent. But if you want your AI agent to be more creative, then you could put it on 2, and this will mean that your AI agent will be very creative with the IDs and very creative with the output that it will give, but it won't be as reliable as what you will get if when you will put the temperature on 0. An example of when you will put the sampling temperature on 0 would be a balanced diet includes fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins. These foods provide essential nutrients for optimal health. And then if you would, for example, put the sampling temperature on 2, then you would get, imagine your kitchen as an artist palette. Every vibrant vegetable is a brushstroke painting your path to wellness and vitality. So this is obviously a bit more creative than you will get on when you will put the sampling temperature on 0. And it is also a bit too much in my opinion. But then you could, for example, just change it to 1, and then it will be creative and it will also be following the instructions that you gave it in your system prompt. In my opinion, the best settings for your sampling temperature will be 0 if you just want to have very technical answers and factual based answers from your AI agents. Then you can put it on 0.8 if you want to have blog post answers or emails or newsletters. And then you can put it on 2 if you want your AI agent to be very creative. And this can be very useful if you want your AI agent to help you with a brainstorming session. The next option will be the timeout. And the timeout basically gives your AI agent the instruction on when it should stop running the workflow after a certain amount of milliseconds. So here we have 60,000 milliseconds, which will be 60 seconds. So if I have selected this option, then the workflow would stop running if it has not given an answer after 60,000 milliseconds. And this can be very useful if you want to stop letting your AI agents getting stuck in an infinite thinking loop. The next option will be the max retries. And the max retries basically helps us to give the AI agent the instructions on how many times it should try to rerun the workflow if there is an error. So the max retry basically helps your workflow to stay stable during errors. And then we have the last option, which is the top P. And this will basically help us to make our AI agent more creative and more random. And the top P ranges from 0 to 1 instead of 0 to 2. So if it is on 0, that will mean that your AI agent is not creative at all. And if you put it on 1, that will mean that your AI agent is very creative. And then it will come up with all different kind of perspectives. An example of the top P when you will put it on 0 would be the sun sets in the west, the sky turns orange and red, it becomes dark. And then an example of when you will put it on 1 would be a magnificent tapestry of molten gold cascades across the twilight canvas as shadows dance through the ethereal glow. So this is obviously a lot more creative than if you would put it on 0. In my experience, the best settings for the top P will be 0 if you do not want it to be creative at all and just want to have a focused output of your AI agent. Then you could put it on 0.4 to 0.7 if you want it to be a bit more creative. And then you can put it on 1 if you want it to be very creative and come up with all kinds of different insights and different perspectives. One very important understanding with the top P is that if you do not want to have hallucinations, you should put it on 0 because then it will basically just only use the instructions that you gave in your system prompt. And that's also the same thing as with the sampling temperature. So if you do not want to have hallucinations, put the sampling temperature and the top P on 0 because then it will only use the instructions. And if you want it to be a bit more creative, then you'll put it on or 2 with the sampling temperature, or you will put it on 1 with the top P. So this was the tutorial on how you can stop letting your AI agents hallucinate and start getting the right responses every single time. If you liked this video, then do not forget to like and subscribe. And if you have a question, then leave a comment down below and I'll see you in the next video.